it has been rumored that the president's children are not his actual children. I've always struggled to believe that rumor, but now it is starting to sound true in my head. Because I don't understand how a president can be at peace while 21 children, 21 young boys were burnt in a dome. He did not even care to attend that funeral. All the president did was order people to gazette that flags be flown at half-mast, that he was busy in a foreign land trying to address world leaders, while in his own country, 21 children lost their lives. Is it true that Nick is his son? Because he should be right about our age, if not a few years older. What empathy, as Madris asked, that men and young men and women of this country were shot down. They did not die of a protest. They were killed by police that he commands. And he has done nothing to date to ensure that the families receive justice, any sort of compensation for people who were in hospital, any sort of reprieve or justice for those families. I am beginning to doubt his parenthood. I am beginning to doubt his empathy and his humanity. This whole hustler narrative that he has always driven, when he tries to impose something as devilish, as inconsiderate as SHIF, under that social health authority that he has forced everyone to register on. How do they determine how much a boda rider pays? How do they determine how much a cow owner pays? What if my cow is not used for dairy? What if it is a bull? What if it was a gift? These people do not care for the Kenyans. And that's what we are saying for the political class. Their time is up. And we will do it together as the youth, and we will mobilize like never before. We will not be divided along tribal lines. We will not be divided along the lines of class as they always have done. And we are saying that we are now draining the swamp. We've said we are coming together to ensure that we look for justice for the people. Just the other day, a young man was sodomized in the county of Mombasa, Bruce. While we know that there is a law that if you feel that someone has insulted you or offended you, you can take them to court. But no, that administration has chosen to sodomize young boys. Now they've used guns, they've used the economy, they've used health, they've used lack of education, and now they're using penetration. And we've said that now as the young people, if in a week we do not get an answer, we will drive a very concerted effort towards the county government of Mombasa. And this is a very clear warning. One, we are to the IG of police, to the national government, but specifically to the county government of Mombasa. All Kenyan youth will come to stand with our own. If you want to sodomize people, and that will be the first and last case that comes to the public limelight, or that even occurs, we will not use sexual violence upon the youth of Kenya. Again, we want to make this very clear that we are sick and tired of this government by thugs, for thugs, that does nothing to advance the agenda of the common mwananchi. We are saying that, President Ruto, your time is limited, if at all it remains. All these side shows that you're trying to give us, so do you want to impeach a deputy, you want to mask things, you want to address and abduct us, it will not happen. The abductions should be over. We are going to drive also a very concerted effort to end police brutality. And now if police want to deal with us the way thugs will deal with them, remember all sovereign power rests with the people of Kenya. If you want to deal with us as thugs, we'll deal with you the way we deal with thugs in our localities. We are calling for instant reforms, but we are also saying that in the long run, we are coming up with a united front to ensure that we will drain this swamp of every ill that bedevils it. Asante.
I think I have very little to add. What my comrades have said is basically that we want this country working for us again. This country has worked for Kenyans in the past. We want it to work again. You'll find that all social support programs that were set up have been bastardized. We had help for poor students, it has been bastardized. You have NHIF to support with hospitals, it has been bastardized. There are so many things that were supposed to support people. If you take that 104 billion that is being spent on software, what will it do in terms of putting medicine in our hospitals? So this idea that every time we have a problem, we need service, it's used to steal from us, is what you have rejected. And I want to assure you that the struggle for good governance did not collapse. The struggle for good governance continues, and it is in phases. The first phase, the one that fought against the finance bill, was successful. It achieved its goal, and there are many battles lined up by the young people to make sure that we do not end up with a basket case. Kenya is a republic. We are going to keep it as a republic. We are not going to allow anybody to do things that cannot work for a republic. And where I stand, I think IDs that expire is a no-go area, because IDs that expire basically mean that you will be locked out of elections, and they can be used to suppress elections in areas whereby those controlling the power of the state feel they do not have support. Renewal of those IDs will be difficult. So for us, we are here and we are united, and we don't want IDs that expire. We want IDs that are permanent and that can be used for registration of voters and other functions. We are also saying that we have reached a point whereby the taxes are unbearable. Right now, for people who have got salaried income, you'll find that they're paying about 35 to 40% in income tax. So we are going to a point whereby people can't pay, and therefore people won't pay. And very soon we are going to have a hashtag, won't pay, can't pay, won't pay. We won't have a hashtag, can't pay, won't pay, because if you can't pay, then you don't pay. So we're going to boycott taxes. The other thing, there's a lot of theft in the republic, theft of right from the counties to the national government. We also want to start a hashtag and a proper campaign of stop the steal. We want to change from a war on corruption to a war on the corrupt. We want to deal with the corrupt people, smoke them out, and make sure that this country is governed as a republic under the rule of law. And those are the few remarks I would add on what my friends have said. I have nothing more to add unless you have a question for me. The share thing is arrant nonsense. You have seen the trouble it has caused, and we are going to fight it. We are going to make sure it is quashed, and we go back to NHIF. There is no reason why you can, no sensible person replaces a good thing with a bad thing. NHIF was working well. NHIF just needed liberating it from corrupt management by allowing competent people to take over, and we'd go on well. But the broadly share thing, the share thing is basically, as what you have seen already, is a fraud scheme to steal money from the Kenyan taxpayers, from those who pay premiums. And we have said we are going to fight it, and we are going to resist it, and we are going to make sure that it does not succeed in that as part of the campaign which we are going which we have dubbed, the campaign whose hashtag is stop the steal. We are going to stop the steal, and share is part of the steal, and we are going to stop it. The impeachment motion, I think, is arrant nonsense, and I think that we'll wait to see what evidence is tabled. Then a personal will vote according to the evidence and the law. But as regards the issue of impeaching the Kenya Kwanza government, my position has always been that impeach RUTO and get Gachagua for free. The two people waende pamoja. Mimi wengine wanasema kufa dere, kufa makanga, si ndio? So we want to impeach RUTO and then we get Nani for free. Gachagua, of course, comes as a package, as an addition to that. So the point of impeaching Gachagua and leaving RUTO, to me, makes no sense. When the Kwanza government can't govern, they should go. But it's a diversional tactic that is going to buy them some time by focusing the nation on the wrong issues. Thank you.
Hawa ni wana youth. These are the youths of this country. 2 months ago, tulikuwa kwa street kama Gen Z, tukipigania good governance. The graves of the young people are scattered in this country. Some of our parents are still mourning their loved ones. Mzazi alete mtoto university, huo mtoto saizi au kwa kaburi. Hakukufa bure, alikufa akipigania uongozi bora. So ni aibu kubwa sana ati leo hii bunge wanaenda kuimpeach deputy president ati kwa sababu aligonga meza, one of the partners in crime. Na ule mtu ambaye alifanya hawa watoto wote wauliwe anastahili kuwa kwa kiti kweli? Senator alisema vizuri sana, akasema we impeach President Ruto, we get Gachagua for free. And that is our stand for Kenya. Kenya tulikuwa tunaenda kwa street to make sure the entire Kenya Kwisha regime goes home, including all the ministers. Lakini waache kuchezea wa Kenya akili. Ati shida ilikuwa ni Gachagua. Ati kwa sababu amegonga meza. Gachagua amegonga meza wanafunzi 14,000. Hii Sunday niliona kwa Standard front page hawajaingia university. Na hao wanafunzi najua wametoka jamii za watu maskini because of the new funding model. We have a very insensitive man as the president of this Republic of Kenya. Mtu ambayo at this time and era ati tuko na abductions zinafanywa, watu wanakuwa tortured. Some people are being sodomized in their own country, a country that has constitution. Watu wanakuwa sodomized just because they have said we cannot be ruled like animals. I want to say this to the Kenya Kwisha regime. As the young people in our times, we will be ruled by integrity and accountability. We are ready to pay the price, whatever the price. And I want to tell William Samoei Ruto like this. Asidhani the storm imeisha. It is just the beginning. The hopelessness of these young people in this country will come to haunt him. And we want to tell him he can do whatever he wants. He can amaze all the world. But we will not even leave him after 2027 after we take him to Sugoi. We will go back to all he has done. Hii mambo yote amefanya itamfuata mpaka kwa kaburi. He should have the heart of a parent. Yeye ako na watoto. William Samoei Ruto ako na watoto. Leo hii ni RUTO akue amekatakatwa, ako kwa damu anatolewa. Kama mzazi anaweza sikia namna gani? Hao ni watoto wa Wakenya. Saa hizi Charlene Ruto akue abducted for 1 month na hapatikani. Yeye kama mzazi atasikiaje? Ajiweke kwa viatu za Wakenya, yale mambo ambayo anafanyia Wakenya. And we want to tell him that his time is coming. The gods, the Kenyans, everybody is on our side because we are standing for the just and the just and the just for Kenyans. Saa hizi wa Kenya over 70% they cannot afford meals. But we have ati wanatoa Adani ati inaleta shift inanunua mitambo ya 105 billion. 105 billion kununua mitambo. What was wrong with NHIF? What was the issue with NHIF? Kwani watu wana wa Kenya wakiwa shenzi kiasi gani? We are so mad as young people of this Kenya. We are so mad. We are not even mad. 2 months ago, we were not mad like we are mad today. Because they want to show all what we did is because of one of the partners in crime who banged the table. I won't talk much. Let me give my colleagues to talk something. Thank you so much.
Every speech
thank you very much. My name is Fanya Mambo Kinuthia. Yangu ni machache sana. It's all about the national identity card. I keep telling Kenyans, I got my Kenyan nationality with the milk from my mother's breast for free. And when I became a Kenyan, I don't know why every 3 years my Kenyan nationality has to expire. So this horrible, horrendous, catastrophic idea of an ID expiring every 3 years, I don't know where it came from. And we are saying we don't want to mobilize our young people right now to pick IDs to vote in 2027, only for them to be told that their IDs have expired because they took in 2024 and the election is in 2027. So we are starting a campaign as the young people of this country of saying that we want IDs without an expiry date because we as Kenyans are not expiring and we have no intentions of expiring. Let me explain to Kenyans, kwa sababu wakati mwingine tukifanya hesabu rahisi, it makes sense. If you are born today and God gives you 80 years, just take 80 years divided by 3 years. What will happen is that you shall renew your ID 26 times. Actually 26.5 times by the time you die. And you shall pay 1,000 shillings every time. It doesn't make sense. We shall be wasting time and effort and energy and money. So we are saying as young people, your ID con expiry date. Here is the next frontier. Watoe tu expiry date before we start doing those other things that we always do. So please, 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 if you people do listen, expiry date on the ID must be expunged.